Okay, into June already. Just 18 more days to go to the longest day. So in northwest Kent, doing a 13-mile circular of Eynsford, which is free walk 59. It's a glorious day again, and there's a nice cool northeasterly, so that adds just enough chill to the weather today to make it ideal walking temperature. It's about 19-20 degrees forecast today, which is a bit below average for June, but there you go. Anyway, there will be some familiar territory on this walk because I walked down here about 3.5 months ago. So let's see what the walk holds. Let's get cracking. 2 minutes down Upper Austin Lodge Lane, and here's an example of the scenery that awaits us. Fantastic already, eh? And this is all within the M25 boundary, or just outside it, sorry. Another shot of that view. Wonderful, eh? As I say, we're in a little triangle of land wedged between a number of motorways here. So just outside the Oyster Card boundaries, not very far from central London at all. Do like to see cow parsley covered lanes, and at the moment, because they're quite fresh out, they're giving off a nice aroma. Nice pastoral scene just prior to the transmission line there on the map. Blackbird song in the distance, accompanied by that pheasant. Passing Lower Austin Lodge Farm. And the scenery ahead of us as we walk up towards Upper Austin Lodge Farm. Quite hilly, as you can see, North Downs. The view back from just in front of the stone pillars of Austin Lodge, referred to in the text. Great couple of weeks this now, as we get plenty of bird song prior to their annual molt, when they seem to disappear. But one observation I would make again is the lack of swallows, house martins, etc., swifts. So not much preying on the flies at the moment, which is worrying. And there we go, entering Austin Lodge. Got this wonderful cow parsley right down to the end of the lane, look. Whole of the bank covered in it. Fingers crossed. I haven't noticed any problems with my zoom yet. Probably cursed it now. Still waiting for an appropriate time to put it back in for attention. However, if I don't get any problems today, there won't be any point. Okay, per the text, got two options here, and despite a no entry private road notice there, we take that left turn. So here we are, passing the old dairy, which has now been converted into a number of 5-bedroom barn homes. So as you can see here, where the tarmac surface ends, got the yellow symbol making it obvious which way you continue up into the golf course. Okay, there's your warning. And a bird song now I'm not instantly able to distinguish. Yeah, can't see the thing, that's why I can't recognise the sound. Let's have a nose. Yes, on the very top of that tree. Gone. I didn't get long enough to identify it. Well, at least the zoom's working okay by the looks of it. So, as referred to in the text, after 300 metres you take a left, heading east, away from this lane. And unusually for a Monday, just encountered a group of fellow ramblers coming from the direction I'm headed. Very unusual on a Monday. But there you go. Affluent area this. This is the very cool tree tunnel that you get through the golf course. And unlike most golf courses, there are even people out on this one. So it must be something to do with northwest Kent. Upon reaching the stile 250 metres later, we're advised that this is the correct direction to the Fox and Hounds. Good business acumen there by someone. The view back from the third of these stiles referred to in the text, looking back over the golf course. Fantastic view, eh? The views from the Woodland edge footpath. Sun's not out here, but it is over there, as you can see. And when it's not out, it's quite chill, but pleasantly so for walking. Just encountered another couple of walkers with 4 or 5 dogs with them. So quite a busy area for walking. I think it's an interesting sign of the times, with the economy the way it is. More people are becoming perhaps self-employed, working from home and taking advantage of nice days like today and popping out and doing a bit of exercise, doing work as and when the weather's not so good perhaps. That's what I tend to do. You can see the path is right on the edge of the woodland here. You've got about 1 metre of woodland to the right and a whole forest on the left, mixed deciduous and coniferous woodland, beech, yew in there, all good solid stuff. And just as the sun comes out again, we come out into open land on the valley side. View back towards London, showing how close we are. The text refers to distant views of Canary Wharf, but I can't see it. Don't see the triangular Canary Wharf Tower. Bit hazy, but even so. Now we're going further east down the Thames. It's like the old bridge there, is it? No. As I say, no, it might be. I haven't got my glasses on. Anyway, it just shows how close we are to the metropolis. There you have it. Views of the Shard, etc. Clearly visible like now. There she blows. The city, Gherkin, etc. Then coming round to Canary Wharf Tower. About 150 metres where I'm stood at the minute. So, you know, not far short of 500 foot. Excuse the jolting. But at least the zoom seems to be back in order. So, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Don't think I'll bother putting it in for further attention because it could come out worse. Let's see. And with all that jet noise in the background, we're shortly going to be approaching Romney airstrip. So, having just left some noisy dogs behind me, as you can hear, I'm turning right here, not going to the Fox and Hounds. One last view of the offending house where the noisy dogs are, plus more importantly back towards the city. There is the footpath over to the Fox and Hounds for those that want an early stop. And there is said pub, I believe. Passed that way before. Across this very muddy field in the winter. The whole of this footpath could be very muddy at the appropriate times of year, if that word exists now. As it is, it's very rutted, and as I usually say, that's because it's a bridle way. A couple of alternatives here, not for us mind you, because our journey is clearly through this big metal field gate, but there is a path to the right of it which we do not take. This is now duplicating previous sections of an Eynsford walk, which I've done before, and this part was indeed very muddy. It does seem, however, since I last walked this path, that the farmer has attended to this damp, muddy, rutted bit, and it's not too bad at all now. Shouldn't imagine it's too bad in the depths of winter either. Anyway, I remain to be corrected. All reminders here of how it could be though, with the omnipresent chiff chaff again. Not that one. No, Ruddy typically has gone quiet now. Baby rabbit there. Not too worried about me. More interested in his food. Chaffinch is all about. And a magpie cackling there. Lovely. Anyway, I'm going to have to disturb you, mate, because I've got to go past you to get to that footpath style. Which is just beyond you there. Two options here as we just come out of the lane. You don't take the one on the left, moving away from the road, but turn more towards the right across the field. What a lovely buttercup field this is. Wonderful. Dandelion seeds about to take off. And buttercups. And there's our path clearly marked across the field. Sun's gone in again, so a bit grey at the moment. Views back from whence we just come. One parting shot of the lovely buttercups. There's some nice colours amongst the trees over there. Parting shot of the May. Won't be around much longer. Now we're in June. Okay, emerging from the belt of the trees, and this is Magpie Bottom. Strangely enough, the first thing I saw when I came out of the woods was two magpies. So two for joy, and so be it. Fantastic view this is. Yeah. Wouldn't believe we're wedged in between a few motorways here, would you? It's on a par with the South Downs National Park, this. Wonderful collections of flowers. Got no idea what these yellow ones are, but looks like some meadow forget-me-not. Just masses of different sorts of flowers. Conjures up an idea of being in Switzerland. And you've got those purple things over there. One even hazard, I guess. Shame that Android haven't yet brought out a flower app. I've seen one advertised on the iPhone, but apparently it's not very good. But there's a thought, eh? Bird, tree and flower app. Just take a photo and it recognises it for you. Andrew, if you're listening, mate, there's an idea for a small fortune. Further view up the valley. It's about 150 metres here. Back up at whence we've just come, out of that little belt of trees. Shame I couldn't get those two magpies on film. Would have been very appropriate down here. Lovely. Walking on up through a very nice and cool great wood, mainly beech by the looks of it, but smatterings of holly and other species. It's just come to my attention, obviously Biggin Hill's not far from here, so hence the aircraft noise isn't jet but mainly private planes. Not too much of that, thank God. It's like Broxbourne, not the kind of woodland for bluebells, although there are one or two little pockets over there on the bank, which is interesting. The remnants of this year's crop won't be around much longer. That's a bit precarious. I wonder what's been eating that. Possibly a deer? No idea, if you excuse the pun. Well, rotten, it's going to come down soon. Just stood in front of Mount Farm. The old Fox and Hound certainly gets his advertising in, doesn't he? I notice they're not too quick on coming out and collecting these when the event's passed. Tidying their leaflets up. Okay, this is the entrance to Mount Farm, which I wouldn't normally record, but I also wouldn't normally deviate from the text, but today I am. The text refers to turning right here up this lovely cow parsley clad lane, but I'm going to take a left and get into Otford via the North Downs Way, because there's possibly a better viewpoint if you go that way. We'll soon find out when I film it. In turn left, you don't take this first footpath on the right, which takes you to the 204 metre trig point, but continue ahead towards the road junction or bend, and there should be a turning off there, I believe, which is the North Downs Way. Soon find out. As you can see, we join the North Downs Way here. Otford a mile, Kemsing 1.5 miles. Interesting that the author of this walk has avoided this section for some reason and taken possibly a busier route into Otford, but we'll soon find out. That's why I'm walking it and filming it as a possible option. Anyway, let's get to the viewpoint and see what's what. Well, there's the 204 metre trig point on the other side of the field. So you could have taken that first right turn and joined up with the North Downs Way, probably at the other end of the field. Yeah, they do meet. Wasn't clear from my 1 to 50 map if they did, but they do, in that corner there. So the first right turning can be taken to avoid a little section of the North Downs Way if you so wish. I'm walking through the further end of Greenhill Wood. The official route would have been at the narrower end, further north. As I say, I'm opting for this version. Very pleasant it is. I'm looking at the radio mast over there, and the official route So the view you would have got from over by the radio mast there is in fact probably better than the one I'm getting on this side, which is marked as a viewpoint. There's the old Shoreham cross that I walked past the other week. Yeah, the reason you get better views on the official route is because it's more open. So I can see why they've gone for that. Delightful, huh? This is the route you get from a bench that I'm stood next to. The North Downs Way route. As you can see, impeded by tall hedges either side really, and not the viewpoint that I was hoping for according to the map, which is odd, unless I'm missing something, or maybe this is it. As I say, there is a bench here which is tempting. It's 1 o'clock, so I'm in two minds. And this is the viewpoint to the left of the bench, which is accessible via a piece of broken barbed wire. So not officially permissible, but what a view that is. Apart from that workings down there. Plenty of magpies. Young ones around now, I guess. Oh, 1:36. Lunch has been had at the bench where I said I might have it. What a wonderful view that is from the North Downs Way, eh? We have of course walked on the opposite bank previously, on the other Eynsford walk. There we have the rather beefy sound of a Chinook. Great work being done by these lads, eh? Help for heroes and all that. Okay, just left the North Downs Way. Well, I'm still on it actually, on the main road now in Otford. And here is an information board about primulas, planets and a pond. Hope you can read that. I can't because I'm not wearing my glasses, but there you go. Nice accompaniment of blackbirds as well, and a robin, and a train. Yeah. So even though we've filmed all this before, quick view around Otford. That's the duck house with the Crown, the recommended lunchtime stop, just behind it there. Possible alternative is the Woodland. Otford village sign again. I say again because it's been previously recorded. St Bartholomew's, Otford, built around 1060 apparently. Tower added in the late 1100s. Contains some marble memorials to some descendants of Oliver Cromwell apparently. Information panel here about Otford. Now that's very appropriate, as the Queen celebrated that anniversary yesterday. Quietly in Windsor, so I hear. Information panel here about Otford's solar system, which again has been recorded previously. The old Baptist chapel, and then Pickmoss. You can Google that, Pickmoss. It's a medieval open hall house, whatever they are. Now about to follow the Darent Valley Path from a point opposite the Grange. Now leaving Otford behind. We're following this footpath now for 300 metres beside the Darent River, and some lovely views on my right, including the bench on the original walk up there on the hilltop next to the phone mast, which obviously I missed, and allotments here behind me. Very pleasant views on my left as I continue to walk along the edge of the Darent. These are the kind of kissing gates that all authorities should be putting in wherever a kissing gate is installed, because you know, they're fit for purpose. It's easy to get yourself and your rucksack through these, unless you've got about a 60-inch waist. I believe this to be the manufacturer of these kind of gates. But it could be that they manufacture the barbed wire, not sure. Find out at the next one. Anyway, as I say, fit for purpose. Possibly not much more money than the wooden ones either, if they're aluminium, which means they'll last for a long time as well. So, lovely views on my left and ahead of me, including the cross once again. Onward journey's clear here. All the stiles referred to in the text have been replaced with gates. Just stood by the last gate into the golf course. Views back towards Otford and its surrounds. Yeah, as there's no barbed wire here, clearly centre wire make these gates. So if anyone from any local authorities gets to see this, that's who you should be contacting for these gates. Centre wire. Looking through a pleasant wooded section next to the golf course. So at a major path junction opposite the 17th tee, we take a right here, continuing to follow the Darent Valley Path. Up that lane. As you can see there, the old milestone marker to Otford, which is whence we've just come. Right next to the greens. 250 metres on, next to the 9th tee, and with this concrete foot marker indicating to Shoreham, our onward journey is directly north through here. In the pavilion and cricket pitch, which, as I say, we have done previously. Don't think it was as good a weather as today though. Nice way for a cricket fan to be remembered, having a pew next to the cricket pitch. 85 years old, he's certainly had a good innings. Excuse the pun. Anyway, here's one of the original of those gate concepts. This one being made of wrought iron. But even so, the concept's there. There's plenty of room for your kit. Yes, very heavy gate. Things were made properly in the old days. Sounding my age now, aren't I? Fantastic views across the golf course just prior to Station Road. Very pleasant golf course this, and I've never seen so many people out on a weekday. Amazing. Okay, if you're continuing with the main walk, you do a left here, following the Darent Valley sign. If you're going to terminate at Shoreham, it's right up the lane. Now entering Skylark territory, as you may be able to hear. I'm going to do a left here into the churchyard. Very pleasant church of St Peter and St Paul, Shoreham. A previous dining spot for me. Yeah, perhaps I should do write a guide to suitable dining churches for walkers. Start giving them grades. Michelin star. Yeah, the old Magpie agrees. Or finds it humorous. One or the other. There's the lovely backdrop of the downs in the distance. Yeah, this one would definitely get a good grade because it's got an excellent storm porch, as I seem to recall. And as filmed previously, that's a painting of a previous period. Quick view inside and of its ceiling. Interesting place to be remembered as everybody traipses over you. Right in front of the church door. And from another angle. 800 years of history here in this church, at least. And there's the time for the timekeepers amongst you. Looks like that bit that might have been re-gilded since I was last here. And as I mentioned last week, where there's a church, a pub is never very far away. The Old George Inn being immediately opposite. And there's the inscription on the outer side of the Lich Gate. And it's good to get some divine instruction on the presence of dogs in gardens of peace, because I'm never happy to see that when I go down to the cemetery in Hitchin. Anyway, there you go. Apparently they are permitted, but clearly with consideration for others. The memorial at Shoreham. Down by the Darent Bridge. Shoreham Bridge. Samuel Palmer's former residence, the Waterhouse. There you go. Very pleasant flint and brick cottage next to it. Amazing, look at that mass of flies. And what exactly is eating them? Nothing. So, get the old midge cream on order this summer. Yeah, definitely. Final shot of Shoreham Cross through the trees there. Carved into the hillside apparently to commemorate the passing of those in World War I, which is another brilliant gesture. God rest their souls. Looking back down the River Darent from just prior to Mill House. And all those flies again. You have the option of continuing up this lane, Mill Lane, to a possible early tea time stop at the Crown pub. And it was up this lane a few months ago that I spotted a very early primrose. There's no information panel here any longer as per the text, but we are going to follow this footpath to the right now just beyond the bubbling of the river over there on the right. Looks like there's been some recent conservation work on this footpath over the winter. Could possibly have been affected by flooding, because the Darent is notorious for bursting its banks. One of the rivers leading into the Thames, of course. A views back towards Shoreham, the river behind the trees on my right there, and ahead of me the poplars referred to in the text. And I need to be a bit frugal with my filming now, because I've just realised I've only got 7 minutes left on the card and I've still got a fair way to go, so it's going to have to be the bare essentials henceforth. I've heard of the road to nowhere, but where's that gate going? Information board here about the hop shop and various things it sells, and it's just over there on the right, across this little lane, for those that want to nip in there. So here we are back at Lullinston Country Park. Like last time I was down here, there's quite a few people actually using the place. Once again at the gatehouse to Lullinston Castle. Flags up. Once again a shot of the interior. Just seen a blue tick come out of that hole there in that brickwork. Incredible. So unlike our blue ticks back home in Hitchin, this one's still feeding. Amazing position. Gatehouse from another angle, and just in front of it there is something I'd very much like to get my hands on in the future. A VW camper van. VW California. I have to research that. Just a job. It's got a side bit as well as a roof extension. Eynsford Viaduct, built in 1862 and now a listed building. And rather appropriately, the train goes across. Excellent timing. And behind me, Lullinston Roman Villa, housed in that large shed. Got the sun against me here, but here's the information panel. English heritage maintained. Okay, up these steps to Eagle Heights. This time of the year, the path up to Eagle Heights is very well clad in cowslip, cowslip, almost impassable in places. Another shot of the viaduct. Thameslink train crossing it. Wonderful views back towards the gatehouse down there and beyond. Just in front of the low hedge now, about to approach Eagle Heights. Glorious. Views towards the viaduct and over Otford from a point near the Eagle Heights, which is ahead of us here. No birds on their posts this afternoon, unfortunately. And I've only got 3 minutes left on my card. What a wonderful view back from the access road just before Eagle Heights. Fantastic, eh? Look at that. Shame I've got no time left on my card really. But there you go. Brilliant. And an equally good view on the other side of the access road as we approach Eynsford on this diagonal footpath. What a lovely little area so close to London, eh? Interesting. Around about 100 metres up here as I grab some final views before my card expires. Might not have time to finish commentary at the end, so beware, or thank God, be grateful. Get another shot of this, even if I am nearly out of card. This is from a point just before the railway track, which is ahead of me there. Across the rail track. Now going across field of rape, which hums nicely as you'd imagine this time of year. The viaduct from the viaduct from another angle. What a great shot that is. And I'm down to my last minute, unfortunately. Some big old beasts over there. Possible tea time stop at the Plough. The Ford and the church in the background. And my card's out. Not sure if I've got any time left on this card, but all I'll say is that was a fantastic walk. Free walk 59 completed. Highly recommended. Around about 6.5 hours out in the field. No rush, just very enjoyable. Fantastic. 5:15 now. Train will be here shortly.